What actually happens if you spend 10 days in complete darkness? It's stranger than just not seeing anything. Okay, so here's a question that sounds simple, but gets weirder the longer it goes. What if a person spent 10 full days with zero light, not even a sliver, no windows, no clocks, nothing? Spoiler, you'd survive just fine physically. People have actually done this for science, but your brain and body would go through changes that sound more like science fiction than a normal 10 days. Let's break it down. First, the setup. This isn't a horror movie scenario, it's real research called isolation experiments. Scientists like Michel Siffre spent months living alone in caves with zero light and zero time cues, funded by organizations like NASA, specifically to study what happens to the human body when light disappears completely. So everything here isn't hypothetical, it's documented from real experiments. Day 1. Your body starts losing its most important anchor right away. Light itself. Your circadian rhythm relies heavily on light exposure to reset itself every 24 hours. So the moment light disappears, your internal clock starts drifting on its own. On top of that, your pupils stay permanently dilated since there's nothing to react to, which is part of why your eyes end up so sensitive later on. Day 2 to 3. This is where things get interesting. Without any light cues, your body falls back entirely on its internal clock. And for most people, that clock isn't exactly 24 hours. It's closer to 25 to 27 hours. So gradually, you start living a longer day than everyone outside without even realizing it. Some people in real experiments have stretched into 30 or even 48-hour days without noticing, just sleeping and waking on a completely different schedule than the outside world. Day 4 to 5. Sleep starts changing noticeably. Melatonin, the hormone responsible for drowsiness, stops releasing on a normal schedule, so you find yourself falling asleep and waking up at seemingly random times based purely on your body, not any clock. At the same time, your sense of time itself starts distorting. People in these experiments consistently underestimate how many days have actually passed. Day 6 to 7. Your eyes start adapting in a strange way. With zero external light, the brain sometimes starts generating its own visual signals, a documented phenomenon among miners and cave explorers who spend long stretches in total darkness, sometimes called prisoner's cinema. Flashes of light or shapes appearing with no real source at all. Your other senses tend to sharpen too, hearing and touch especially, since your brain leans harder on them once vision has nothing to work with. Day 8 to 10. Psychological effects become more obvious here. Anxiety, tension, and mood swings are well documented among participants in long sensory isolation studies, not because darkness itself is harmful, but because the brain is wired to use light as its main signal that everything is normal. Some people also report feeling strangely calm or even meditative by this point, once the initial disorientation settles, since the brain eventually adapts to the lack of stimulation. And here's the part that would surprise most people. The 10 days in darkness isn't actually the hardest part. It's coming back to light. After a long stretch of total darkness, your eyes become extremely sensitive, and sudden exposure to bright light can cause serious eye strain, headaches, and painful light sensitivity. So the return has to be gradual, step by step, not unlike divers who have to surface slowly from deep water. So why does the body tolerate any of this at all? Mainly because humans are surprisingly good at adapting when external cues disappear. But it's not free. Your circadian rhythm takes time to resync once normal light returns, and you can feel foggy and off for days before your routine actually snaps back to normal. The good news: nobody ends up in total darkness for 10 days by accident. Every real experiment like this happens under careful scientific monitoring for a reason. And if you've ever sat in a pitch-black room for even 5 minutes and felt your eyes start to wander, now you know that's just the smallest, gentlest preview of what your brain actually goes through when the darkness stretches into full day. Thanks for watching.